Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. This is the math lesson for Tuesday, May 12th. We're just continuing working on partitioning rectangles. Some important things I want you to remember about partitioning rectangles. When you are partitioning them, all of your squares on the inside have to be exactly the same size. Otherwise, it's not accurate. The other thing I want you to remember is we talked about rows and we talked about columns. Remember, rows go across, so if you're walking down the movie theater aisle, you check in each row to see if there are any seats open. And columns then go up and down, like those beautiful columns that we have by our gym doors. So columns go up and down and rows go across. And when you're doing a repeated addition number sentence, like 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, you can do that in columns or you can do it in rows. And sometimes they give you a hint as to which is best to do or which they prefer you to do. So those are the really, really important things for you to remember when you are partitioning rectangles. Fairly simple and quick lesson for today. I think you guys are going to like this. This should give you a lot of time to do already if you haven't done it yet already today. So I am on page 729. It looks like this. I'm going to read it and then we'll talk about it. So it says complete the example. So you have to complete the example, and then you're going to solve problems 1, 2, and 3. Only 3 problems today. It says you can break apart a rectangle into same size squares. Remember, that's the important part. And count to find the total number of squares it takes. How can you add to find the total number of squares it takes to partition the rectangle? Well, here it says you can add the rows, just like I said. So if you're looking at this rectangle, okay, you're supposed to break it into equal size squares. And I didn't grab my pen, so hang on. Okay, so I'm going to do that real quick. It says you can add the rows. There are 6 rows with 3 in each row. Or you can add the columns. So rows go up and down, rows go across. I'm sorry about that. Rows go across, columns go up and down. So I'm going to go ahead, and they already told me that there are 6 rows, and the way they did this rectangle was really nice. So I went ahead and just, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. I tried to do my lines as straight as I could. And then they said there are 3 columns. Columns go up and down. So I'm going to break that into 3 columns. Look at my columns now. Here's 1, 2, 3 columns, okay? So go ahead and do that on your paper if you haven't already. And then it says, how can you add to find the total number of squares it takes? You can add. It says there are 6 rows with 3 in each row. So you could do 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Or you can add the columns. There are 3 columns with 6 in each row. 6 plus 6 plus 6, or 6 times 3. Now, here are your repeated number sentences for rows and for columns. And it says solution. So basically it wants to know how many squares are there. And let me just give you a little hint. Whether you're counting rows or columns, the answer will be the same. Okay? So you decide what's easiest for you. If you don't want to add this up in your head, here's a little hint. You can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and keep going. And that will be your solution or your answer. All right, so let's go on to number 1. It says apply it. So here's what Tim did. I already see a problem, do you? And this little guy over here says, how has Tim divided the rectangle? So take a look. I hope you see the problem right away. Number 1 says, Tim says this shows it takes a total of 9 squares to fill this rectangle. And if you remember the definition of a square, are all of these squares? There are 9 shapes here. But but it says, do you agree, and then explain. So in this space without lines, you have to say, yes, I agree with Tim because, or no, I don't agree with Tim because. Remember, I want you to look at what he said over here. Look at the size of each of your squares, okay? You need to hit pause and go ahead and write. You can do that. When you're ready, we're moving on to page 730, okay, at the bottom here. And we're on number 2. So it says Nina pastes a square on a poster. So here's her big poster. And she cut out a bunch of squares, and she's just going to paste this one, okay? She will fill the rest of the poster with squares that are the same size as the first one. How many squares will be on Nina's filled poster, and show your work? So show your work means you're going to go ahead and divide this into row and columns, and then you're going to have to tell me somewhere, oh, right here, there will be blank squares on Nina's filled poster. So I'm going to get you started. I'm going to just help you to see what we're looking at here. So because she already gave you one square, I know that my rows are going to be this big, and she gave you one column, so I'm going to have you go this way. Now, I want you to divide the rest of these and see, remember, all of them have to be close to the same size, okay? So you can tell here that we have some more dividing to do. So you're going to divide those and tell me how many squares there will be when they're all somewhat equal. And then number 3, it says Juan breaks apart a rectangle into same size squares. Remember, that is the key, same size. He writes the equation 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6 to find the total number of squares. Which one of these could be Juan's rectangle? And here's the hint over here. It says you can look at the rows and columns of each rectangle. So, you know, this is what I think I might do. So he writes the equation 2 plus 2 plus 2. So, I'm going to write, so in A, there's 3 rows and there's 3 columns. Does that work? 3 rows and 3 columns. Is there any way to get 2 plus 2 plus 2? Okay. Letter B, there's 2 rows and 2 columns. Oh, the number 2. 2 plus 2. Nope, because there's 3 2s. How about 2 plus 2? No, because there's 2 columns. So it can't be that. So I kind of gave you a few hints here. All you have to do is circle which one is going to be correct. Like I said, super quick math assignment. If you have questions, let me know, but I think you're all going to do fantastic. All right, so that's today's lesson. And if you have questions, let me know. Your parents can email me or text me on Remind. We can set up a meeting and try to get this figured out. But I'm sure you're all doing great. All right, hang in there. I'll see ya. Bye.